All right, SPY, looking at it, and I wasn't expecting this. As I said yesterday, I saw the volume was declining. This volume is closed up really good day today. Wasn't expecting it, cannot lie. It's broken above this pivot that I wanted to see. Again, it needs to get here. This, I'm not buying this right here. I'm just letting you right now. I'm not buying this because the retracement is just too deep compared to this previous pivot. Um, that doesn't mean if you get a 1-2 bar pullback and get a higher low for pivot, you could see it come back up. But again, I'm not buying this. I'm just letting you know I'm not buying right here. Some people buy the blood and some people love that. But again, it's just something that I was not going to do. And we'll see how this one plays out and go from there. Again, it still has the lower highs. I don't know if this one's going to have a pivot, but we haven't seen a break of a low in 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So I would expect something to happen tomorrow, and we shall see. But again, they took it. You see, if you look at the intraday chart, that's pretty much showing you they pretty much did not. They were relentless today, and they got it. And there's nothing to say about it. Overall trend on the weekly, if we start looking at these lower highs here, we were talking about just being cautious because what we had going on this break. And let's see what happens. Again, this week is still early, so we're only at Tuesday, so we don't know how this candle is going to close. And we'll see what happens. Again, we'll see what happens and go from there. Again, I can be wrong. I told you guys my win rate is 50%, point blank, and I'm actually have the balls to actually have stuff documented and say, listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If you're complaining about being wrong in this game, this might not be the game for you because you're going to be wrong, and I might be wrong. But again, still on the daily, I'm like, all right, let's see where it goes. Now, again, it broke this point right here, so I gotta say, okay, if it gives me a low volume retracement, I might be able to get something here, but we shall see. QQQ again broke my level that I was talking about weekly. This is why I was saying I didn't want to buy this, because again, you have this previous pivot that it broke into, but it's looking good so far. So again, I didn't know what was going on here. The low volume of yesterday was something that I was very concerned about, saying being cautious long, because this is what I was seeing, and bam, it gapped up and it stayed up. So again, we'll see what happens and go from there. IWM actually, from this little, it popped up. This might be the little higher low that maybe you were looking for, but I'm still trying to say, okay, it's still below this one right here, so I'm not getting too happy, but I'm just, again, still being in the cautious phase. DIA, again, it's still below these levels right here, so just trying to see. The volume is relatively low, still below the 20 average, and that's pretty much it. Apple gapped up from the earnings and stayed there. If you guys follow me, I had a turn date of 10/13, so it's not exactly, it could have been this one, or I used 2 days before and after, so if the 15th would be here, so you get a higher low, break of, and it went up. If you were saying 2 days before that, you'd actually be right here, so break low, you could have caught that. So it all depends, but again, it's all about where the trend is, and I was saying that this is showing relative strength compared to everything based on what was going on with the underlining. So it ended up being strong, but I don't play earnings typically. So the only way I play earnings is with money I just don't care for losing, and that might sound, but if I'm typically doing a position of let's say X plus 4 shares, I'll do X plus 1 shares, just because if it just happens, it'll be like two, a half of 1% type stuff. Just knowing your risk parameters and going from there. Netflix, still, again, I'm not the gap type of filling guy. You still have not had a break of a low. Did we? A little bit. 11 cents break of the low. So we'll see. And again, if your stop was above here, you don't know where you're going to go. The volume's still looking weak, and we'll see how this one plays out. Tesla, Tesla's still not out of the woods. It hasn't gone above this pivot, let alone this one, and the volume is really dying. So if it breaks below this low, it still looks kind of weak. GoPro, again, didn't break the low to get me in, and I'm kind of glad because I would have gotten squeezed out. And it's looking pretty good actually. So I thought the volume decreased from here, but then the volume increased some more. So it's broken above this previous point that I was looking as a reference regarding the pivot. So again, it is what it is. So you don't want to be wrong and strong. You just want to say I didn't get in, thank goodness, because it didn't break the low. But if it did, I would have been stopped out. So let's see how this stuff plays itself out. Take care.